On August 17th, Tropical Storm Andrew takes shape, about halfway between Africa and the Caribbean. During the following days, the storm slowly intensifies. Then high-level winds begin to tear Andrew apart, slowing its momentum.
Well, it's the slowest. It's the slowest one. Yeah. But so say 3 days puts it here. Yeah. So by 4 days. 4 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
To Goldenberg and most other meteorologists, Andrew has only the slimmest chance of ever becoming a hurricane.
So we'll see.
Friday, August 21st. As high-level winds die down, Andrew begins to reorganize and quickly gathers strength. Computer models show Andrew might head toward southern Florida, but Goldenberg and his colleagues dismiss any immediate threat. Stan leaves work early to prepare for an important weekend. His wife, Barbara, is due to deliver their 4th child on Sunday. 750 miles from Miami, Andrew's winds exceed 74 miles an hour on Saturday, August 22nd.
Hurricane warnings in effect for Dade and Broward counties, and a hurricane watch is in effect for Collier County.
The first hurricane of the Atlantic season is born. By noon on Sunday, massive evacuations are ordered along the Florida coast. Sunday afternoon, right on schedule, Barbara has been in labor since around 6 a.m.
Well, here we have from the hurricane to the other action in this room, which is Barbara going through early stages of labor, over 4 centimeters contracted, going through labor pains.
In the birthing suite, Stan videotapes the proceedings with all the fervor of an expectant father.
Our nurse here.
Still, the meteorologist in him can't help but be distracted.
And we still have, waiting for the hurricane, beautiful skies, calm. You never know what was going to happen here in the next 12 to 14 hours or so.
Late in the day, Andrew's winds accelerate to 150 miles an hour. Traveling nearly due west, it descends upon the Bahamas. Around 6 p.m., it strikes Eleuthera Island, packing a storm surge 23 feet high, taking 4 lives.
Here, having a boy makes you feel like a father, and having a girl makes you feel like a daddy, right?
There you go.
Stan steals a few hours with the new arrival, Pearl, then leaves the hospital. He'll ride out the storm at home.
Hurricane to hit Miami.
In Miami, violent skies herald Andrew's approach. Inland, residents take routine safety measures. Seven miles from shore, Stan and his boys are joined by his sister-in-law and family.
Sunday, the 23rd of August. We have the family here, Jonathan and Daniel, Roger, Benjamin, Joseph, Aaron, Reuben. We have Ann, and we're going to weather it out through the storm. Hi, Daniel. Say hi.
In the dead of night, Andrew suddenly intensifies as it approaches the tip of Florida. August 24th, around 4:30 a.m., Andrew comes ashore.
Looks like our TVs are out. Maybe the power is out now for the duration of this. You can hear that outside. You can start to hear the roar outside. In the hallway of the Goldenberg house, winds outside I think are at least 100, 110 miles an hour or more. Aaron, are you okay? And there's the cat. And here's everybody here. Just waiting out in the hall because we lost the plywood on the front window, but we are praying God will cover that. And we're just sitting back here resting in the Lord in the hallway. We can feel our ears constantly pop from the pressure drops. Yes, Jonathan? Lord, we just thank you. We ask your protection. This is Stan at 8:30 in the morning. We have been through a night. This is our street. Trees down everywhere. The big tree, this was a huge tree in front of me, just one window broken on that car. Trees down everywhere. These are our sweet, precious neighbors. These shutters survived the storm. Every window covered with this type of shutter survived. But our house, which had wood shutters, the roof lifted off. And as you can see, we have no house. This wall fell on us, containing the refrigerator, the stove. This is the wall. Fell on top of us. Stove down there, cabinets, all fell on top of us. And that small space you're looking at, the mattress and everything, that's where we were pinned and protected during the worst part of the storm. Benjamin and Joseph.
Incredibly, 3 adults, 6 children, and a kitten emerge unharmed from the wreckage that was Stan's home. The scope of the disaster has not yet dawned on Miami. At the hospital, Barbara rests assured that her family is safe.
We can perhaps get the first look at what's going on up in the air from Sky 4.
The hospital had an emergency generator, so we still had power. And we saw all of the first footage of this destruction and storm, and we were in shock. The first areas they went through, they were kind of relieved, saying, oh, and just making interesting comments about how this car is thrown here and there. But they became much more sober as they went farther south.
This is incredible. It has just flattened this area.
It did not look possible that anybody could be alive. And that was just a mile or 2 from my house. And at that point, I really felt despair.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there must have been about, let's say, counting and trying to estimate at least 300 to 400 mobile homes here. The rest are just completely gone.
In the morning, my wife finally got through to somebody there just to find out I was okay. Somehow we both had a peace that each of us was okay. But I still remember the first time I got through to her on the phone. You know, I just wept. I mean, it wasn't just the excitement of getting through to her, it was me pouring out the emotions of what I had been through. I mean, we'd been through an incredible experience.
Andrew's storm surge wreaked havoc along the Florida coast, but its winds devastated an area larger than the city of Chicago. Some 135,000 dwellings damaged or destroyed. The homeless numbered 160,000. It seemed miraculous only 44 died. Not one official wind gauge survived Andrew's peak winds. No one knew how fast they had gusted. Intrigued, Dr. Ted Fujita, Mr. Tornado, flew to Miami to study the aftermath. Roofs ripped from homes. Trees snapped in half. Concrete beams carried hundreds of feet. Plywood embedded in a tree trunk. Fujita finds evidence of winds up to 200 miles an hour. But his most startling findings come from aerial surveys with local meteorologists. They point out narrow streaks of total devastation near areas with lesser damage. To Fujita, the patterns are eerily familiar.
Straight out that way. See the street? There, right across the lake. And those are the elements.
He develops a theory that the worst damage in Andrew was caused by mini-swirls, tornado-like rotations, brief but violent, embedded in the eye wall. The theory has personal meaning for Stan Goldenberg.
We never expected the kind of damage that we experienced. We had, not only were we in the area of some of the maximum winds of the storm, we had in addition, we believe, an area of more intense winds, probably caused by the mini swirls that Ted Fujita talks about. There was a strip right through my house of homes that were devastated, and I was right in that strip.
Stan would relocate his family to a new house. Parts of Florida remain scarred to this day.